Welcome back. Now it's time for Forum Daily's weekly energy update with Dan McTeague, president of Canadians for Affordable Energy. All yours, Dan.
Effect on pricing at the pumps for quite some time. But right now it's costing in places like Ontario, Quebec, and the Maritimes about 25 cents a litre. So that weak Canadian dollar that so many people cheer about because we like blocking pipelines in Canada and we vote for parties that love it. NDP, Green, Bloc, Liberals. Most Canadians have no understanding of how difficult they've made life for themselves by voting for any of these four parties. And as a result of this, you and I are paying a significant amount more than we ought to be paying. The Canadian dollar alone, as I mentioned, 25 cents a litre. But imagine a carbon tax and a second carbon tax, which is ranging between 17.61 for the first carbon tax plus GST or HST or TQS or whatever you have. That's 5 to 15%, depending where you are in the country. And the second carbon tax, which for Ontario and some parts of the West will start to be about 4 cents a litre buried in the wholesale price of gasoline. You won't see it. I will see it. And that means that right now I'm starting to see the price difference between American and U.S. markets and what we pay in terms of wholesale prices for gasoline has jumped to about 15.2 cents a litre. I've referred to that as the crude to rack difference in Canada. And if the Americans are paying, for instance, $1.98.85 a gallon, even when you multiply the Canadian dollar at 141, 142, and then of course divide that by 3.78541, you still come up with refiners in Canada charging a lot more. And it's not because they can do it, because it's fairly transparent how they're able to do this. Is because Canadians, that's you and I, have accepted the idea that, we should have a second carbon tax, a clean fuel standard. And by the way, you're not rebated on that. So the difference is about 15 cents a litre. And what this already means is that could a change in government make a difference in terms of gasoline prices? And not only would it do that, getting rid of carbon taxes, the first and the second, would also alleviate food costs. As Sylvain Charlebois has quite rightly pointed out in a peer-reviewed study that has a lot of economists who think they're cute and trendy by saying, I have a great name, therefore I can say anything I want. No, they've not and cannot make the assertion that carbon taxes don't have an impact on food prices. But I digress. When it comes to energy, gas prices across the country remain stable but high. And imagine tomorrow if we started selling more oil to the world, the United States in particular, which of course runs counter to what Doug Ford wants to do. I would think he would be smarter to follow the advice of Danielle Smith and get our job done, protect your borders and stop sending people who shouldn't be in this country down south of the border of the United States. That's my opinion as a Liberal MP of 18 years. I think Ford's got it wrong. He's drinking from the Trudeau coffee maker, and that's unfortunate because it's going to make a bad situation worse. But I digress. Get back to the issue of strengthening the Canadian dollar, getting more investments in Canada, making this a prosperous place. People want to buy our energy. Why not? Why not let them do it? But that would save you about 25 cents a litre. And on top of that, Teresa, really important that people understand the carbon tax would take out another 25 cents a litre. So imagine this, 45 cents a litre less. We're paying $1, $1.10, $1.20, depending where you are in the country. In some places, as low as 85 cents a litre, like Manitoba, which got rid of its provincial sales tax temporarily. So I think it's a pretty strong argument to be made that given a cost of everything depends on the cost of energy. And when you see Europe now running dry, going black, basically because of a power problem in places like Britain, because of the cable that undergoes the English Channel to France, and they've had unplanned shortages there and cutbacks there. We don't need, as a country, blessed with the abundance of energy, to really cut our noses off to spite our face. And that's exactly what we're doing in Canada. So by all means, go vote Liberal, NDP, Green, and to some extent Bloc, and you'll find out exactly what it's like to exist in a North American cold climate with no energy. And that's where we're heading. Unfortunately, I don't think these folks that have been planning this kind of stuff have really given much thought to it. Their EV mandates are gone in the United States, which means the Doug Ford Trudeau governments have put money towards something that's not going to be needed. No battery plants are being built. They're all going bankrupt. Not all of them, but a good number of them, as well as on the automotive sector. So while we can talk about gasoline prices remaining stable across the country for the next week, it's important to recognize that government policies, federal and provincial, have a lot to do with this. And municipal governments, stay in your lane. Get out of the idea of banning natural gas. You have no business doing that, and you're going to cause people to freeze in the dark. If that's what councillors want, then those councillors should be told the next provincial and municipal election to find another job because they're going to be shown the door. That's it for this week, Teresa. We'll talk to you next week.